G'day guys and welcome back. For some time now, I've been trying to find a video that will convert us all into becoming flat earthers. Undisputable evidence that will support the claims of the pizza planet. I think I may have finally found it. Daniel Pratt claims to have the evidence that you can once and for all prove we don't live on a spinning ball. Let's watch, shall we? Enjoy.
Alright, morning folks.
Cool, we can do that. What's on your mind?
Today I just want to talk about the whole rotating Earth.
Cool, we can do that. What's on your mind?
The supposed rotating atmosphere.
Supposed? If the planet is rotating, this includes the atmosphere. They aren't separate entities.
And how this alone should destroy the globe model and people should be waking up.
I'm awake. It's like 6 p.m. I've been awake for hours.
And it's just, I mean, if this whole COVID con hasn't woken us up to...
COVID con? There's a convention for it now? Oh, they cancel the Olympics and E3. But no, COVID gets its own one. Sheesh.
All men may be created equal, but some definitely value their life much less than others.
So you've seen the non-mask wearing idiots too.
Because they don't have the backbone to even question the trash we've been told, and it's easily provable trash. I'm going to give you a couple more challenges or ways.
Excellent. I do love a good challenge.
To prove that it's trash as far as the globe model.
I look forward to that. A couple of ways to prove the globe model is trash. Got it.
And, you know, the fact that people can't comprehend how this affects their life and all the governments, I mean...
What difference would it make to people's lives? Also, what does the government have to do with the shape of the planet?
I'm listening to Strange World this morning and finding out the vaccine that Russia supposedly came up with yesterday is called Sputnik 5.
The Russian government named it Sputnik 5 in honor of the space race and them being first. It's a playful little jab at the US, who is yet to test a vaccine.
While as the whole time they're pushing this whole COVID propaganda, fear.
COVID propaganda? Nearly 1 million people have died from it, and it has the potential to kill millions more before it's done. It's a little more than propaganda. Besides, I thought you were going to show us how to prove the Earth isn't a globe.
They continually, everybody's sending probes to Mars and continue with the space propaganda.
They continue sending probes to Mars as there is a very limited opportunity to arrive there within the given time limit. I'm not going to attempt to explain orbital mechanics or interplanetary navigation to you, but it's not easy, and Mars is currently at an optimal position for launches to it.
Heavy. It's called trauma-based mind control.
It's called paranoid delusions.
Because that's the next paradigm they're going to push for exploration and war theater.
Exploration, yes. War theater, no. You do know there is no intelligent life on Mars, right? It's pretty much a barren wasteland, much like the inside of your skull.
And they're all in on it, obviously.
Who is they, and what are they in on?
So, once again, regarding this rotation of the Earth.
Okay, good. Back on topic. Yes, the rotation.
It's constantly misrepresented once again. I've gone over rim velocity and its importance numerous times.
Okay, so I'm not going to lie, but Rim velocity sounds like some sort of, well, you know. And since I'm not going to go back and watch any of your videos, only the ones I select for analysis, I looked up rim velocity and I got nothing. The globe doesn't have a rim, so I think it's safe to ignore it as some sort of technobubble.
Because these globe proponents constantly want to misrepresent the Earth's rotation.
No, we don't. We know the Earth rotates, which I'll get to eventually. If you're suggesting we think the pizza disc rotates, we don't. Well, at least I don't. I've never seen a flat Earth model where the disc rotates.
And the force it would create. The force even they admit it creates.
Whoa there. The force the disc would create if it rotated would pretty much liquefy everything on it. The force the globe creates is different, as it also has other forces, such as gravity, acting on it. What you fail to understand about the difference between the plate Earth and reality is mass, and how much more massive the globe is when compared to the pizza planet.
But once again, their story doesn't jive, so they just flip from one excuse to the other.
Examples of this would be nice. Pretty sure the forces acting on us have been known for a very, very long time. Even before Newton had his epiphany, people knew that there was a force, but they had no idea what it was, or they didn't have the math for it.
As is convenient for them to continue their lies.
I'm still wondering what benefit there would be to lying about the shape of the planet. It makes no sense to make up this sort of deception.
They will tell you that the Earth has an equatorial bulge. In other words, the Earth has literally, because of the force of the Earth's rotation, has terraformed.
What? No? That's not what terraformed means. Yes, the Earth is wider east to west than it is north to south. The bulge isn't even noticeable, and it's not isolated to the equator. This image is probably the best way to show it for you to understand. Yes, I've oversimplified it, but I kind of have to.
It has moved rocks, mountains, dirt, everything.
Well, no. Right here, you show your complete lack of understanding.
But somehow, all water on Earth doesn't flow to the equator.
Oh, Desert File, care to fill this one?
Gravity, you fucking retard! Gravity! Have you ever heard of fucking gravity? Gravity! Gravity!
Cheers, dude.
I put videos up showing a pottery wheel.
That's not how gravity works.
If you pour fluid on a pottery wheel, it will always flow outwards towards the outer rim. That would be the equator of the ball Earth.
That would only apply to a pizza planet. Pouring water onto anything on Earth is completely pointless, since the gravity of the Earth is way, way, way more than whatever you plan on pouring the water onto.
So there should be one huge band of water on the equator and nowhere else on Earth, as far as large bodies of water.
Again, not how gravity works.
This is physical fact.
Evidently not. What it is, however, is you not understanding how things work.
Same with the atmosphere. If the atmosphere spun with Earth, it would all be gathered on the equator.
Same argument, different medium, still wrong.
Because fluid dynamics tells us air acts exactly the same as water.
Which is why it covers the whole planet like it does. Don't try to cherry pick physics when you don't even understand the basics.
Therefore, if you were to take a 4-inch circumference disc,
so a disc with a diameter of 3 centimeters, who uses circumference as a measurement?
have it hung vertically and spinning, And at the bottom half of the thing, have it in water.
So submerge it 1.5 centimeters in water while attached to a variable RPM drill. You know, you could have shown us you doing this experiment. I'm far too lazy to do it, and it sounds like it's going to be noisy and messy.
So that as it spins, it's kicking up water.
See? Very messy.
Out the back, okay? Spin that disc, that 4-inch circumference disc, at the RPM equivalent of 10 miles per hour.
What? How am I supposed to do that? I can idle at 500 RPM and not move.
Okay? There's an RPM calculator into miles per hour all over online.
Well, yeah, but that's for engines. And if it were that easy to calculate, you would have provided this information rather than telling people to just Google it.
It's there for a reason.
Yeah, to work out shit for cars.
You don't measure the speed of your vehicle in RPMs.
No kidding. As I said, I can idle at 500 RPM and be doing 0 kilometers per hour.
Or revolutions per day.
Oh, I think I can see where this is heading. And it's a really stupid argument. More of an non-argument, really, but we'll see.
You measure it in miles per hour.
Much like the rest of the world, I measure it in kilometers per hour.
Because it's converted from the RPMs the tires are doing into miles per hour.
Yeah, but tires spin from the center of the rim, not the top of the tire. So it's much easier to work out. For argument's sake here, if the tire has a circumference of 1 meter, to travel at 100 kilometers an hour, it would have an RPM of about 1,667. Unless you didn't mean to rotate it on the vertical, you meant to rotate it on the horizontal. But when you guys don't even understand the basics of a horizon, I can't blame you for being wrong.
Therefore, you take the 4-inch disc, spin it at 10 miles per hour, and measure how far it kicks the water. Then take a 16-inch disc, like the tires on my truck. Spin it at 10 miles per hour. It will be slower RPMs, but you will find at the RPM equivalent of 10 miles per hour, it kicks the water the exact same distance as the 4-inch disc going 10 miles per hour.
What does that have to do with anything? Also, tires aren't measured in circumference. They're measured in diameter. Not that it matters for this. I can't even call it an experiment. There are so many variables unaccounted for that I can happily tell you with the way that it's been explained. The reason for water going the same distance is that it means that the RPM of the rim of the disc is the same, meaning the angular velocity is also the same. The only way it would be different if the RPM was measured from the center. Increasing the size would then have an impact on the speed at the rim.
So, an Earth rotating 1 rotation per day is still moving at 1,000 miles per hour at the equator and creating the equivalent force.
Do you have any idea how big the Earth is? It has a circumference of 40,075 kilometers. So the rotational speed of 1,670 kilometers an hour is actually really, really slow. It just sounds fast. In terms you like to keep using, it is roughly 0.000694 RPM.
This is why they had to come up with your story of the oblate spheroid.
Well, no, that's just the technical term for the shape. The difference is about 1/300th that of at the poles. A minuscule amount that flat earthers can't seem to grasp.
Yet you want us to believe that can terraform mountains and rock and earth.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
No one thinks it is terraforming anything. Well, no one except for you.
And all the minerals that amass the Earth, but not water. Water's not going to flow towards the equator.
Technically, it does. It's just that it's such an insignificant amount when compared to the overall size of the Earth.
As it does this. So your story makes no sense.
Your inability to understand it doesn't negate the facts. It makes perfect sense to the vast majority of people on the planet. What makes no sense is how do you not understand all of this?
Another way we can prove the atmosphere, or if these globe proponents would like to prove the absurdity of their story.
Okay, the best way to prove that we're on a spinning globe is the Foucault's pendulum. I've linked below a great video by SciShow where they cover the topic in way more depth than I could. This short animation shows the basics, as every video I looked at were shaky hand cams, and due to the current situation, I'm unable to go to get my own footage from a local university. You can go to pretty much any university to view one, and there is a list of locations available online.
That the Earth's atmosphere rotates along with it. Get a bucket of water, put it on a turntable, and start spinning it. The water inside will be rotating at the same rate as the bucket.
As I said earlier, any experiment involving water done on Earth will be subject to the same gravitational forces that everything on Earth is subject to. I know, it's a recording and he can't hear me. But he may watch it, and it may need repeating.
And then, with using nothing but pressure, I want you globe proponents to create a 10-mile-an-hour wind going the opposite direction.
If you're not going to perform your own experiments, then why should we? We've already proved beyond reasonable doubt that the Earth is a globe. Burden of proof falls to you, Danny boy.
Or a cyclone that is contained in that moving Earth and does its thing. Or a hurricane.
Pretty sure that people in Texas affected by the hurricanes right now can confirm that they do move with the Earth.
In that rotating Earth going the opposite direction, using nothing but pressure.
The pressure on my face from my palms is quite high at the moment. It's good to be passionate about some things, but dude.
Go ahead, we'll wait. You constantly want to babble about how flat earthers have no model.
You have no working model.
Go ahead and show us your physical demonstrated model of a rotating atmosphere with a gentle breeze going in the opposite direction using nothing but pressure.
Easy. Go outside. Done. Next question.
You can't do it.
I just did.
It's not physically possible.
I mean, maybe if you're in a coma, it's not, but I'm pretty sure almost everyone can go outside and, feel the air and the wind.
Now, what they'll do is come with all sorts of excuses of why my demonstration isn't accurate.
I mean, that's unlikely unless their version of the simulation is ignore that.
Or why they can't do it, because of gravity or...
Wait, did you just say gravity?
Because of gravity or...
Ha, he did. I say that sometimes too, since it, grabs us.
Scale or this or that. What they'll never do is just a science to prove the bullshit they spew down your throat or in your ears.
Ha! A flat earther saying that is gold. Science indeed.
Every day. And once again, for the 10 millionth time, why won't they demonstrate it? Because they can't.
I already did. I mean, if you can't understand simple things, there's not much more I can say. I know, recording.
Because it's not physically possible.
You said that already. Repeating yourself doesn't make it correct.
Yet, blind idiot after naive idiot after bamboozled idiot will tell you how real it is because the scientist in a lab coat said so.
Not all scientists wear lab coat. My guy at NASA barely wears pants, and that's disturbing to say the least. Like, the last time I went there for my briefing about to hide the truth about the flat earth. Never mind.
I never thought to ask him to prove it.
You could have ended that on I never thought, and it would be 100% correct.
And he's never going to volunteer to prove it. So I'm just going to continue to believe everything this fucking retard says.
Who? Did you literally have some dude do that to you?
And refuses to prove. It's a brilliant way to go through life, people.
Better than thinking that everyone else is wrong and I'm the only one who's right about everything. Only I can do that.
It's no wonder the whole world is locked down for an imaginary virus.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go there. COVIDiots piss me off too much for their conspiracy bullshit. COVID is very real. Oh, what? No goodbye? That's a bit rude. Well, once again, Daniel has vented his anger at not understanding some of the more basic things in... Well, I was going to say the universe, but he didn't get that far. So I'll just say he doesn't understand the more basic things in the world. Thank you all so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this rant about spinning discs or whatever. If you understood how to perform the experiments he mentioned and decide to try them out, I am not responsible for any dumbness that you incur. As always, a special thank you to Purple Haze and Pyramid Head for their support on Patreon. And to you, my NASA contact, I didn't tell them anything, so will you kindly remove the hitman from my balcony? Until next time, friends, don't be a dick.